Alright, so I hate when people have these long intros, so this is my short one. Hi everybody, I am Ash Stone, and my lighting is terrible. I'm going to tell you the story of one of the worst breakups I've ever had in my entire life. Well, that seemed really cynical. Anywho, so I was in a relationship with a man, we'll call him Superman. No, that sounds terrible. We'll call him Jay. So, Jay and I knew each other. We met when we were 12 years old, online. And Jay lived on the other side of the country. And we were about as different as night and day. Long story short, we were on again, off again, long distance relationship for years. So, fast forward, I am now 19. He decides that, you know what, maybe we can make this work. So, I'm in college, just about to graduate actually. He decides to come and visit for a week. We hit it off. Everything is great. We decided that, you know what, it's gonna work. This is gonna work. So we tried long distance again for about another 2 years, on and off. Finally, we decide, I got in a relationship with someone else, and we decide that we are never going to be together. Not gonna happen, ever. He lives on the other side of the country, I live here, that's it. So he comes to visit, and we say our goodbyes. We decided this is our last time we're ever going to see each other. One thing, another, we're just going to be friends, nothing more, nothing less. And I end up getting in a really bad relationship. I'll tell you about that one in another true life. But it got abusive, and I tell him about it. I found a way out, and he calls me up, Skypes me actually, and says, you know what, Ash, this is it. I have realized that I'm meant to be with you, that everything is perfect. You are the one that I want. When I thought something could happen to you and I wasn't there, I realized that if something happened to you, I would be devastated. I can't do that. I can't live like this. You are the girl I want to be with the rest of my life. And he tells me he put his 2 weeks in at his job, and he's bought the plane, or not the plane ticket, but he's gonna drive. He's packing up his stuff. He's going to drive out with 2 of his buddies, and then his buddies are going to fly back. And I'm thinking knight in shining armor, right, guys? Like, too good to be true. He shows up and stuff was too good to be true for a while. And I thought it was still good, but I knew relationships have their ups and downs, right? Perfectly normal. And so he shows up. Fantastic. We actually move once, get a dog together. We have a cat together. We had 2 guinea pigs together. I have my tortoises still. But, perfect, right? Every once in a while, stuff would be a little stale, whatever, not a big deal. My friends are his friends are my friends. It's just like you see in all the sitcom movies, right? Or sitcom shows. You see the husband and wife, and they have the same friend circle, and they all hang out, and they do their thing, One morning, he would go back to visit family, at least once a year, for about a week. And it always seemed to be something would happen with my job, and I couldn't go. I never did actually get to meet his family. And he didn't talk to me. Normally when he would go back for a week at a time. He'd call me every night, tell me goodnight still, whatever. This time he didn't call me at all. We texted maybe a handful of times, but we didn't talk at all. So we go to pick him up, and one of my friends went down because he flew in about 2 hours away, so I didn't want to drive that far by myself, so I took her with me. And the whole time he's being quiet, and he kept saying it's because of jet lag, right? Acted weird, didn't want to cuddle when we got home, barely wanted to touch me, which was not normal when he would come back. And at this point we've been together years, and the next morning I wake up and the house smells really good. He's making breakfast, right? So he makes me this big plate of breakfast. I believe it's pancakes and eggs, and brings it in and says, well, good morning, and we need to talk. I'm like, oh, okay. He says, so I think we should break up. And I'm like, what? I'm thinking he's kidding. So I'm like laughing and making a joke of it. And he wasn't. He says, so basically for the last year and a half, 2 years, I haven't loved you. I haven't wanted to be with you. I don't feel the same way I did in the beginning. And I just have not found the right time to tell you. So apparently 11 o'clock with pancakes was how he planned to do that. So he says, yeah. So I'm devastated, right? I want to act like there was more to that conversation, but there really wasn't. He told me there wasn't anyone else, that he was homesick and wanted to move back, and that he's sorry that it couldn't work out, and yeah, that he's working on moving out, but he hasn't found, the right way to do that yet. And yeah, so devastated. Best part of the whole thing is that this was on a Sunday, and the next Sunday I had planned a surprise birthday party for him. So I tell him this, and I said, I already have a cake ordered, I already have everything, right? Like, what am I gonna do? So he says, okay, if you still want to do it. And at this point I'm thinking, all right, I can win him back, right? Like, totally legitly normal. So I decide that I am going to still have this giant party, and we have sworn at this point we're not telling anyone we have broken up. Do you know how hard that was? Yeah. So fast forward, party awkward as heck, especially when I started drinking and start telling everybody. Let's put it this way. This was so out of the blue. When we did start telling people, they cried, because we were that couple everyone wanted to be, right? Fast forward, morning after his party, I wake up, can't find my phone, so I pick up his phone to call my phone, and yeah, there's a text message from one of his former coworkers. And when I say coworker, I mean he was the boss and she was his subordinate. And it was a sexy text, like full on back and forth for quite some time. And it had been from about a week before that. I basically told him to get out at that point. Got a little rough. And a month later, he lived with me for another month. He moved out. And he didn't move to the other side of the country. He moved in with this little girl. I say little girl because he was 23, 24, 23, 26, 24, 24, 25, and she was 19. No, I think she was 18 actually at the time. And yeah, that was a mess because he moved 15 minutes away. So I had to see him everywhere still. We tried to share joint custody of a dog at one point, which was just messy. And yeah. And then, like, because we had been friends since we were 12, we tried to still, like, be friends. That did not work. It was just a mess. But I remember after he told me, I was in denial for a while. I honestly thought that, like, it was something I had done and I could fix it, and suddenly he'd want me back. And when he started dating officially, this new girl, I remember him telling me, just let me date her so I can realize how much I miss you and I'll come back. He said things like that and led me on for quite some time. I still to this day can't believe that someone I was so close to hurt me so bad. However, I'm in a million times better relationship now with someone who actually is willing to commit to me and loves me. So I'm glad that that didn't work out because I found something better. However, it was devastating. I remember there were nights I would cry so much, like my whole face and my whole body were numb from crying. I was devastated. I guess the moral of my story is humans can do terrible things to each other. Terrible things. And yet there will be something better. So, yeah, tell me your bad breakup stories down below, or send me your videos of you talking about your bad breakups. I'm gonna try and go to sleep now. So, nighty nights, and I will talk to you later. Toodles.